Hello, friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Botched Situation. We are an internet game show and hangout session. I am Jake, the guy who doesn't like you laughing at his mule.
And I'm Chris, aka Jason Statham, but without the grit, danger, or masculinity.
We are your co-hosts and competitors, and we still don't know what we're doing.
We do not welcome one and all to Season 0, Episode 13. As always, we will be battling it out in a series of competitive segments, all for the much coveted title of Not the Screw Up.
Per usual, the word of warning to our audience, both on Twitch and YouTube, there is a possibility that this show may contain some mature content.
Mm-hmm. And due to the nature of the games that we play and the materials that we cover, spoilers for various properties are always a risk.
So needless to say, prepare yourselves for the battle of the century between Chris and
I. Or at least the battle of the last 4 months or so.
Fair enough. Holy crap, Chris. Episode 13. That is 13 weeks worth of content, and we're still on Season 0.
Ooh. Yeah.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. But we're getting there. We'll launch sooner or later. We'll launch even quicker if we get your feedback on our feedback form. Here's our beginning of the episode plug for that ever important feedback form. Please check out bit.ly/answerbs. That's a capital A, capital B, S. You can go there, let us know what you think of the show. If you have any ideas for future segments, if you hate our faces, whatever, it helps us out. There's also a link on our About page if you don't want to type it in or click on the one we just posted in chat.
Very true. So, this week, Chris, what is the theme for this week's show?
Our theme this week is epic badasses. This is going to be a show full of just fury and righteousness
and anger
and general just, I don't know, badassery.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, not much is going on in my life, so if you have anything you want to share, you cool to
let's jump right
into our first segment?
Yep, let's jump in.
All right, the first thing we got for y'all this week is Quizzard's First Rule.
The classic.
Ooh. Our theme this week is badasses from history. So these are all real historical people who have just done incredible things. It's our trivia segment. We've each got a list of 5 questions that fit the theme, multiple choice. We'll ask, our opponent will answer, we'll score points. Whoever takes the round takes 1 point for the eventual total score.
And the title of Not the Screw Up in the end.
Mm-hmm. So you ready? Are you prepared for my trivia explosion?
I am. Let's go.
Okay. All right. And there's context for all these. These are longer questions than normal, so brace yourselves. Okay. So question number 1. Badasses from history. Kutulun, who lived from 1260 to 1306 AD, was a Mongol noblewoman. She was a daughter of Kaidu, who was in turn a cousin and opponent to the 5th Khagan, Kublai Khan. Apart from being, who took Genghis Khan, the Mongols, a few generations down the line.
I get it, yeah, for sure.
So apart from being Kaidu, her father's most trusted military and political advisor, she was also a badass fighter and wrestler on her own. And legend says she demanded that any man who wished to marry her had to best her in a wrestling match. And she didn't lose very often. She would claim horses as stakes in these wrestling matches when she won. And it is said she amassed a herd of how many horses? How many of these victories did she have? Was it A, 10,000 horses, B, 100,000 horses, C, 1,000, or D, 10?
So these are, just to clarify, these are wrestling matches with men for a variety of reasons, whether it be they wanted her hand in marriage or just for fun, it sounds like. She sounds very intimidating. Mongol noblewoman Cthulhu. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It just makes me think of Cthulhu.
It looks a little bit like Cthulhu. Yeah.
Man. I think 100,000 is out. I think that's too many. I think 10 is too low. So I'm torn between 10,000 or 1,000. And as impressive as 1,000 would be, this is 1260 to 1306. So back in that day, you didn't have entertainment other than wrestling. So just based on the fact that there was nothing else to do other than wrestle and be a badass in general, I'm going to go with A, 10,000. Final answer.
You got it.
Woo.
A, 10,000. She
sounds
kicked a lot
like
of butt.
A total butt kicker for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right. Question 2. Miyamoto Musashi. He lived late 1500s to early 1600s, and he was, among many other things, a renowned Japanese kensei, or sword saint. That is a step above sword master, almost supernatural skill level. And a ronin who held the record for most undefeated duels at 61 in a row. Obviously in a row, because a gap would mean he would be dead.
I was going to ask, are these duels to the death, or are these just, wow, that's intense.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Wow, okay.
He's also the founder of the Nito Ichiryu style of swordsmanship. What was unique about his fighting style that made him so famous and fierce?
Okay.
What was it? A, he fought with 2 blades. B, he fought blindfolded.
That would be impressive.
C, he strapped fireworks to his sword pommel. Or D, he ended every fight with a Mortal Kombat finishing move.
Definitely D. Okay, so first of all, just a slight quick tangent. I've been watching... Am I allowed to mention TV shows? I think so. I've been watching a TV show where they forge different swords and stuff on Netflix recently. And
Forged in Fire.
In Fire, yeah. And, it's just kind of one of those shows that I watch while I'm falling asleep. And I've really been enjoying particularly some of the Japanese swords that they make. There are so many different kinds. Being an ignorant American, it's just like, there's Japanese samurai sword. But there's actually like a bazillion different types of varieties of not only swords, but like daggers and stuff. Anyways, I digress. This just made me think of that because one of the most recent episodes I watched, the finale was like this huge specialty samurai sword.
That's
Anyways,
awesome. I'll have to check that out. I keep seeing it on Netflix, but I haven't watched it yet.
I'll warn you, it's a little bit addicting and it's a little cheesy at times, but it's perfect for that like background noise TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Miyamoto Musashi. See, I'm actually pretty comfortable with Japanese. Anyways, was known his unique fighting style: 2 blades, blindfolded, strapped fireworks to his sword pommels, or ended with a Mortal Kombat finishing move. Honestly, I bet you they did do finishing moves. We just don't know what they were. Blindfolded would be absolutely insane. That kind of is almost so ridiculous that it makes me want to believe it. 2 blades, also cool. Strapped fireworks to his sword pommels. So I guess the question that I'm not sure is, did fireworks exist in 1584?
I'll give you that one, yes.
I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah. Honestly, I kind of like the fireworks one just because I like this idea of a guy running around with a samurai sword and then shooting fireworks to distract his enemies. So I'm going to go with C. He strapped fireworks to his sword pommels. Final answer.
I wish it were true.
It's
but
okay.
Unfortunately, no. He fought with 2 swords, which I feel like gives him maybe an unfair advantage. But
at the same time, though, if it's a full-size sword, it could be a disadvantage because of
exactly.
the weight. So
I'm saying, you got to train for that. I'm not saying it's easy.
Right. I'm okay with getting that one wrong just because of how cool the idea is of fireworks like shooting out as he's swinging his blade. All right. Hit me with number 3.
All right, number 3. Tamerlane was a bad dude. He lived from 1336 to 1405. He was a barbarian conqueror who spent 35 years sowing death and destruction in the name of restoring the Mongol Empire.
All right.
All told, his exploits are estimated to have killed 5% of the world's population at the time. He died in 1405, but supposedly continued to plague the world when his body was exhumed by Soviet anthropologists centuries later. They found the words, "When I rise from the dead, the world shall tremble," carved in his tomb. What happened 2 days later, eventually leading to his body being reburied to end the curse? Was it A, Russia suffered a massive potato famine?
Okay.
B, Soviet zombies rose from the grave?
Mm-hmm.
C, Tsar Nicholas II contracted typhoid? Or D, Germany invaded the USSR?
Okay. Man, these Mongolians were pretty epic. Lots of epic Mongolian stuff going on. Okay, so massive potato famine actually sounds kind of realistic and superstitious enough for the time, 1336 to 1405. Soviet zombies is a great answer. Germany invaded the USSR, not a thing because it's too early.
Just
go ahead.
I just to make it clear, because I don't want this to be unfair for you. I did say that they exhumed his body centuries later. He lived back in 1300s, but
I understand now.
Much later.
So what happened centuries later after they found his body?
Yes.
I'm still going to go with potato famine. I just feel like the chances of the Germany invading the USSR just seems logistically difficult. So I'm going to go with potato famine.
Well, it was Germany invading 2 days after they dug up his body. And they went, okay, we're putting him back.
Wow.
It was a bad battle, too. They said the Soviets just barely hung on by the skin of their teeth. Almost wiped them out.
Okay, right. Off to a horrible start per usual.
Well, here's question 4 for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite. Okay, Gustav Håkansson, who lived from 1885 to 1987, much more recent, was 66 years old and sporting a huge flowing white beard in 1951 when he forced his way into the, pardon my pronunciation, Sverigelopet.
Okay.
A grueling 1,093-mile-long bike race across Sweden.
Wow. Okay.
He was refused entry for being too old. Maximum age was 40. But he pinned a big 0 on his chest anyways and rode it regardless. He rode it on his own worn bike, starting a minute after everyone else had left, and kept a steady pace for nearly 22 hours a day, building a huge lead at the end of each day as the other younger racers slept. He finished after 6.5 days of riding and about 10 hours of sleep, a full 24 hours ahead of the rest of the racers. This earned Håkansson the nickname Stallfarfar, which means what?
Okay.
What does Stallfarfar mean? Does it mean the Steel Grandpa, the Iron Moses, the Clockwork Old One, or Don't Step to Santa?
Okay, so first of all, for those of you that are gamers, these are all wonderful gamer tags. Every single one of these. What is that? Starfarfar? How do you say that? Starfarfar?
Stallfarfar?
Stallfarfar? What a great gamer tag. Steel Grandpa and Iron Moses. I can't think of better Counter-Strike names. That's amazing. You were killed by Iron Moses. Okay. So there seemed to be a lot of focus in the description on the amount of time spent, understandably so. So I like Clockwork Old One because he seemed very consistent in his amount of time biking each day. I do like Steel Grandpa, but maybe that's just a little too generic. So I'm going to go with Clockwork Old One C. Final answer.
He was the Steel Grandpa.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah. But hey, like you said, they all sound good. Feel free to use those tags. I won't sue. That's not intellectual property.
I was gonna say I don't think it's suable.
I mean, no, never mind. I copyright Iron Moses. right now.
Right now. Got it.
TM. Okay, last question. Number 5. This is Qing Shi, who lived from 1775 to 1844. She was not only a female pirate lord, but widely considered to be the most successful pirate of all time. She led the Red Flag Fleet, which was a Chinese pirate force so huge and invincible that it dominated the South China Sea, obliterated and absorbed the Mandarin Navy, and eventually forced the Emperor of China to offer total amnesty to every pirate in the fleet in his efforts to end their reign. How large was the force Qing Shi commanded at the height of her power? Did she have, under her command, 170 large ships, 1,600 small vessels, and 170,000 sailors? 350 large ships, 650 small vessels, 115 gliders, and 12,000 sailors? 800 large ships, 1,000 small vessels, and 80,000 sailors? Or 930 battleships, 12 nuclear submarines, 75 TIE fighters, and 2 floating islands?
Wow. Sounds like a scary lady. Literal pirate lord.
She was a scary lady. I could do a whole episode on Qing Shi. She was ruthless.
So, to be honest with you, I have absolutely no idea. This is just a numbers game.
It's just a numbers game.
Obviously, it's not the one with nuclear submarines or gliders, I don't think. So the question is 170 large ships or 800 large ships? But of note, it's 170,000 sailors versus 80,000 sailors. Man, that's a lot of people. Now, were they all considered pirates, or were they considered like their own like mini naval country?
Oh, they were pirates.
I just feel like 170,000 sailors is just too much.
It's a lot of guys.
So I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with C, just because I just can't. I don't know how you would fit 170,000 and only that many vessels, but that's just going to be my guess. It's literally just picking at random. So A.
You said C and then you said A.
I'm sorry. So C, forgive me.
You're good. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
C?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. That is correct. 1,800 vessels, 80,000 sailors.
That's impressive.
Yeah. By contrast, I don't remember the exact number, so don't quote me, but Blackbeard had something like 140 large ships under his command.
So it's not even remotely close.
Yeah. Not even remotely close.
Got it. Okay, Chris. Well, I did 2 of 5. That's pretty bad, but I'll take it. I guess I'm not an epic badass of history. So for
not yet.
Yes. And I'm working on a giant flowing white beard. Eventually, I'll get there. So for you, Chris, I decided to, since I knew you were doing international, I decided to focus on American badasses from history. Decent variety. So hopefully you enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
So your first question is, Teddy Roosevelt is arguably the most badass president in American history. He is known for being shot during a speech and still finishing it, leading the Rough Riders, and having a black belt. All of that being said, what animals did this badass have as pets? So what pets did Teddy Roosevelt have? Was it A, wolf and coyotes, B, a crocodile and snakes, C, a bison and hippo, and D, a bear and lion?
Ooh. Well, I know some things about Teddy Roosevelt, but I, too, am no history buff. I feel like this is something I should know, but I really don't. Wolf and coyotes, I could totally see that. They're like just dogs, but cooler. A crocodile and snakes. I mean, lots of people have snakes as pets. A crocodile seems maybe far-fetched unless it's like a baby crocodile, but that doesn't seem very Teddy. A bison
he
and a
seem
hippo.
Very Teddy in general.
I could see him having a bison for a pet. I don't know about a hippo though.
I don't
So I'm
know.
going to tentatively rule out C. A bear and a lion seem a lot less like pets and more like zoo exhibits. I could see him owning them, possibly, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. He was pretty no nonsense. I'm leaning wolf and coyotes. I think he said, I want dogs, but I want dogs that will eat other dogs. A final answer.
That is incorrect. The correct answer was a bear and a lion.
Jeez, seriously.
Yes.
Oh.
Now, I think the term pet is probably used loosely. There's a lot of Teddy Roosevelt gets put a little bit on a pedestal.
A bit.
But yeah.
You don't think he was like snuggling up with
no, probably
with
not.
Smokey and Aslan by the fire?
What am I saying? Of course he was. Okay. Question number 2. This is a classic Texas question. Davy Crockett is an American badass and Texas legend. He is well known for his line, "You may all go to hell and I will go to Texas," and the Battle of the Alamo. When Davy wasn't yelling at political enemies or fighting battles, he often made money by hunting. And that's often how he kept his family going and stuff. He claimed to have killed how many bears in the year of 1825, from 1825 to 1826?
2 years. Okay.
Yes. How many bears did he kill? A, none. He only hunted raccoons. B, 105. C, he didn't hunt bears, but rather humans who opposed him. Or D, 205.
Well, I can immediately rule out A and C because he killed him a bar when he was only 3. Or so the song says. And I believe all songs
as truth.
Explicit truth.
Yes.
No matter what. So the question was, did he kill 105 bears or 205 bears in 2 years? That's a little over 700 days. So that's 1 a week or 2 a week.
That's so ridiculous to think about. If
Right?
you ever wonder why animals get endangered or anything like that, it's because of stuff like this.
It's because Davy Crockett gets bored on Saturdays and goes out and kills a bear. I think it's once a week.
Another good
personally.
reason for video games. Stop the bear killing.
Exactly. Kill virtual bears instead. Pick up some Red Dead. B, final answer.
That is correct. Very good. He
right.
took out 105 bears in that time frame. All right, question number 3, and forgive any of my enunciation. William Babcock Hazen was a career United States Army officer who served in the Indian Wars as a Union general and in the American Civil War. He was most famous. His most famous service was defending Hell's Half Acre at the Battle of Stones River in 1862. William had a very strong personality and was known for a unique nickname. What was his nickname? Was it A, the best hated man? B, Will Shuttlecock Hazeman? C, Copperhead? Or D, Slow Trot Will?
Wow. Okay, I think you found your calling, and it's coming up with old-timey Army nicknames.
I watch way too many Westerns, so yes. So Will Babcock Hazen was a total badass. What did he go by, Chris?
He had a strong personality.
Yes. And just a little bit of background here to help you out. He was known for just getting in arguments with everyone, and he was a total badass when it came to military stuff. And really well known for his, valor and stuff. But he was kind of a pain outside of those special situations.
Well, I don't think he's Slow Trot Will then. That sounds like someone who's very level-headed.
Fair enough. Okay.
I would go by Slow Trot Will.
Again, these are all great gamer tags. I think that's going to be a theme for all of tonight, all of this episode.
Will Shuttlecock Hazeman. I mean, that really implies a badminton interest that is just not really mentioned. So maybe not that one. So the best hated man sounds like someone who's very difficult to get along with, but good at his job. And I would say that, but Copperhead, the question is, was he a redhead? Because they're known for having fiery tempers, and I could totally see them calling some angry redheaded dude Old Copperhead or something. I don't know.
You got this, Chris. I believe in you.
Oh, well, don't believe in me, because I don't believe in myself right now. I feel like the best hated man is the safe bet, but I'm really liking the sound and the image of Copperhead. And that's also a snake. So maybe C, Copperhead. Final answer?
Unfortunately, it was the best hated man. They called him the best hated man. Copperhead was just one I made up on the spot.
Well, it's great.
But yes, I think you had very rational decision making there. It's kind of a tough one. Okay. Number 4, we're going to move on to another American badass, this time non-military based. Ollie Josephine B. Bennett was one of the first female medical officers in the U.S. Army and one of the few practicing anesthesiasts in America. She served during World War I. As a female doctor in the early 1900s, she experienced many firsts. She designed her military uniform because there wasn't a designed uniform for female surgeons. At Fort McClellan, where she was assigned, she was in charge of all of the anesthesiology for 2 operating rooms and regularly instructed nurses and other doctors on how to dispense anesthesia. And as all of you know, anesthesia is a really big deal. If you go too far, you can kill someone. If you don't do enough, they feel everything. Mm-hmm. So she was like a hardcore badass, like literally saving people's lives, and the first female ever in the U.S. Army to do that. So just super epic. So the question is, it's said that she, meaning her personally, gave anesthesia to how many patients per day? Is it A, however many were required for the day, 5 to 7 patients, 6 to 9 patients, or the only anesthesia she gave was in the form of a bullet to enemies of the U.S.?
They call her the anesthesiologist, but
she's just putting people out permanently.
She was just an assassin, that's all. Man. Well, I don't think it's the...
Also, I think I misspoke. She technically was still military based, but not like fighting.
Right. Oh, so it's definitely not D.
Well, I mean...
You've given your hand away, Jake.
Yes, I did.
I was about to guess that, for sure. 5 to 7 patients, 6 to 9 patients, or... I mean... Is this a trap? However many were required for the day feels like it has to be literally true.
Well, I will say the question is how many that she gave personally.
Right.
But she ran 2 operating rooms with multiple doctors.
Right. So how many did she give personally? There was probably more required than she actually gave because she was running other doctors. Like,
there you go.
Then why would they be there if she didn't need them? So I know it takes a while to put someone out. And it's a lot of prep work. 5 to 7.
But she is a badass.
She is a badass. I'm gonna err. I mean, I think 5 to 7 sounds more reasonable. If it's like a couple hours a piece for the procedure, that sounds about right for any given day. B, final answer.
That is correct. It was 5 to 7. That was the estimated amount. Very good.
All right.
So your last Quizzard's First Rule Badass Edition. This one, actually, I'm not stating incorrectly, is completely non-military based. I actually am going to not misspeak on this one. So, Emma Gatewood, who lived from 1887 to 1973, known as Grandma Gatewood, was a pioneer as the first woman to walk the Appalachian Trail solo in one season. At the age of 67, after raising 11 children, which is total badassery in itself, she took up hiking, and after about 5 years, inspired by an article in the National Geographic, she decided to tackle the 2,168-mile trail. She ended up completing this trail 3 times in her life after the age of 65, which is crazy. So, at the age of 67. So the question is, she completed the hike 3 times. At what age did she complete it the final time? Is it A, 95, B, 68, C, 75, or D, NA, some say she is still walking to this day?
She's out there somewhere just trudging along.
She never stops.
I mean, she died in 1973, but...
she's still walking, man. What are you saying?
It's a conspiracy. She's walking on sunshine.
Whoa.
On the Appalachian Trail.
Yes.
Holy crap. Forget steel grandpa. This is adamantium grandma.
Exactly.
Jeez.
So, right? Isn't it's just
and not
it's
the first
mind-blowing.
Not the first old woman, the first woman. Just holy moly.
Right? I don't know
She
why
was
this one
definitely-
stood out to me when I was reading about this. I was like, this is crazy.
Out of fops to give, I think.
Exactly. After having 11 children, I think that's pretty understandable.
Man. Okay. 3 times, the last at what age? So, if she started hiking at 67, and after 5 years did the trail at 72. So, that rules out 68. So 75 would be, if it's in one season, that would be she does it once a year for 3 years, roughly. 95 gives her more time in between, but 95 that's insanely old to be hiking that far, I think. 2,100 miles. I mean, 75 seems insanely old too. None of this seems believable. But,
right. But that's what makes her a badass.
Yeah. That math seems to work out to me. Started 72, ended 75 once a year. 75, C. Final answer.
That is correct. Very good, sir. Very, very good.
Rachel in the chat says, "Is her name Slow Trot Will?"
More like adamantium grandma. I like that. All right, Chris, you ended up with 3 of 5, taking the win.
All right, hey, 1 point for moi.
1 point.
Thank
for
you.
Chris.
I will take it. So I take the lead, but we've got a whole show to do.
Yes, there's still time for me to lose by more points. With that, I will direct us to our segment number 2 of tonight's episode. This particular segment is not themed to badassery. We just had so much fun doing this new segment last week that we wanted to bring it back in again. This is going to be the Would You Rather segment, and there's 2 parts to this for those of you that haven't heard. Chris is we're going to go back and forth answering Would You Rathers for each other. So would Chris, would he rather do X or, A or B? And then also they have to answer what the general population picked as well. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much how it rolls. So with that, I'll go ahead and jump in, Chris. Oh, one other thing to mention is this is coming from a website, so we might take a few free passes if we feel like questions are ridiculous.
Right. This is at either.io. A lot of user submitted stuff. There's some
Right.
good ones. There's some not so good ones.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Are you ready to start, sir?
I'm ready.
Okay, so
to go. I failed horribly last time, so we'll see how it goes this time.
Chris, would I rather be a student the rest of my life or be a teacher the rest of my life?
Ooh.
I got to think about that one.
Yeah, interesting question. Jacob, would you rather a life of learning or a life of instructing others? Well, you know what? I feel like you're a lot like me in some ways, and definitely have a love of learning new things.
I'm still laughing at slow
teacher,
trot
but...
Will. Sorry.
That's good. It's so good.
All right, but yes, what do you think I would prefer?
I think
another message from the audience. Tim says that he thinks that I would like to be a student.
I'm leaning the same way. I think you and probably the general population would like to spend the rest of their lives learning new things.
Final answer?
Yes.
Okay, you are correct for me. Definitely, I would much rather learn forever. I just feel like the wealth of knowledge out there that I don't know is never ending. So you know me well, sir. You were a little bit off on the general audience. The 52% said teacher and 48% said student. Kind of interesting. I honestly would have thought the same thing, but I guess not in this particular group.
I guess a lot of people just think they have a lot to give.
It's true. Okay, question number 2, Chris. If Jake could live without air, water, or food, would he rather be stuck on the moon or be free floating in space?
Live without air, water, or food. So you're not worried about dying.
Yeah, basically you're a god.
I'm just gonna interpret that as not die. So
yeah,
we'll assume the vacuum of space doesn't tear you apart and boil your blood either.
Right, you're just... And I'm assuming it's implying that I don't have the ability for maneuverability a whole lot.
Right.
So I'm basically stuck. Yeah.
Staying in one place, observing what you can see, or floating randomly
in the vast
observing
space.
What you come across.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this is deceptively challenging.
This is really challenging.
Yeah. Because at first I'm like, well, man, it would be real boring to be stuck on the moon. Wouldn't anyone rather be floating through space? But then again, if you're floating through space, you don't have freedom of movement, and that's kind of a big part of the human experience, and being able to like run around on the moon would be a big thing, and you'd have like days as you go around the Earth, so it'd be kind of more familiar. And
I'm not going to give any hints this time. I want to speak, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know,
this is another really tough one on all fronts, Chris.
It is really tough. So no judgments on my answer.
No, not at all.
I think Jake is a pioneer who would rather see what mysteries the universe has to offer and take what's given to him, but the general population would rather stay closer to home. Jake takes space, the populace takes the moon.
You are correct on both fronts. Man, you know me well.
Oh.
I figured in my brain, the time becomes meaningless, so you might as well have the opportunity to see everything out there, including the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Exactly.
So, you know me well, friend. Just from a percentage standpoint, 51%, about 613,000 said stuck on the moon. 49%, 596,000 said be free floating in space. Very good, sir.
Real close one. Okay.
Here is... okay, I'm not doing that one. That one's stupid. Sorry. Okay. Would Jake rather listen to only old Broadway musical songs or listen to only Christmas music?
Old Broadway musicals or old Christmas music?
Yes.
I think this, well, I don't want to get too confident, but knowing your family and your musical tastes, I think it's
Easy.
a fairly easy choice, and you'd rather listen to old Christmas music. And I think the people who love Broadway really love Broadway, but they're a minority. Probably most people would rather listen to old Christmas music as well.
Okay, you got 50% correct. You are absolutely right on me. 100% without hesitation, I would rather listen to old Christmas music. But 57% of the population prefers old Broadway musical, which I wouldn't have guessed that either. I feel like that feels like a little bit of a stretch, but so 57% and 43%. Okay, we'll move on to number 3.
4.
Sorry. Correct. Number 4.
I'm actually tracking this time.
Yes, and I'm tracking it too. I'm literally writing it down. I don't know what I'm thinking. Would Jake rather be 1 foot smaller than he is right now or 1 foot taller than he is right now?
Ooh.
And I guess to clarify for the audience, I'm 6'1". So we're talking the difference between 7'1" and 5'1".
He's a strong 6'1". I am a weak 6'1". 7'1", 5'1". Which would you prefer? That's rough. I don't know. I think it depends a whole lot on the person. Personally, I think I'd probably rather be shorter, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. 7'1" is really tall.
It is.
That is really tall. But then again, then you would be taller than Jason. So you could dunk on him. That would be pretty cool.
Now you thinking like I am. And Darren.
That's right. All these tall men in our lives would be overshadowed and humiliated. So you know what? I'll say you and the population both would rather be a foot taller.
Correct on both fronts. Not even close. I have to admit, for me personally, a little bit of concern about back issues and stuff. But if I could have been 7'1", I could be in the NBA, man. That would just purely based on height. You don't even have to be super skilled if you're 7 foot. 84% of the population said 1 foot taller. Just goes to show that the population generally is a little bit shorter, and 16 shorter.
Well, there you go.
This question is this is so ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna say it anyways just because it's so absurd. Would Jake rather have no hands or have a naked fat guy stalking him at all times?
What?
That's literally the question.
Oh.
I know it's absurd, but it's fun.
These are some of my favorites when it's not a clear either or. It's just two completely unrelated, but generally awful things.
You're right.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
So
have
would
no
I prefer
hands.
to have no hands or have a naked fat guy stalking me at all times?
Well, for you, this is very easy. It's absolutely the naked fat guy because it's already the case. You have several naked fat guys stalking you from a distance.
Right.
But
that's the
and
normal.
Your hands are important. And I believe that the people would probably also value their hands over their general bubble of comfort. So
right.
You and the people both choose the naked fat guy.
You are correct on both, sir. Easy answer for me as a drummer, and yeah, I can't lose my hands. That would be catastrophic. And also, like, my thought was we could hire security. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm not super wealthy or anything, but it doesn't. He just says it's naked fat guy stalking. It doesn't mean he's being violent. We just eventually get put in jail. No
and
problem.
Depending on how you look at it, that just means you have a number one fan. How cool is that?
Exactly. So Chris is encouraging stalking for those of you listening. I'm just kidding. JJ makes a great point. It's not like you can't outrun him anyways. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Great point. Chris, out of 5 questions, you ended up with, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 of 10 points. Or 8 of 10 points. 10. Very good. Very
much
strong.
Better than last week. I will take it.
I have no room for error.
All right. Well, you've got one room for error. Okay. Well, you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
All right. Your first question. Would Chris rather never tie his shoes again or never untangle headphone wires again?
Never tie his shoes or never untangle headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Chris, you're a practical man. I feel like I know you pretty well. Everyone is annoyed by headphones that get tangled. But let's be realistic here. The amount of times you tie your shoe versus untangle headphones, it's not even close. You tie your shoes way more. So I'm leaning towards, and not to mention there's Bluetooth and wireless now. I'm leaning towards Chris would rather never have to tie his shoes again. Or he could just buy some Velcro. So Chris, never tie his shoes. Now what's interesting is I'm trying to take into consideration the demographic of people filling this out. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing they tend to be on the younger side. That being said, I think people, if they really think this through, are going to come to the same conclusion. So I'm going to go both would rather never tie their shoes again. Final answer.
You got it half right.
Okay.
I would prefer never to tie my shoes again.
Okay.
Only because I have true wireless earbuds. I don't have wires to untangle. Honestly, I don't typically untie my shoes in the first place, so that's not a big issue either.
Right.
But it does technically happen more often. But general population, 58% of people.
I should have known that just from the demographic of it being the internet. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Okay.
Headphones are important to them. So what do we? Oh, just
yeah. Some of them are
all
just
these dumb
ridiculous.
Ones, huh? Okay. All right. Would Chris rather be in an unknown, no-named rock band or be in a wildly popular kids band like the Wiggles?
Oh, easy. Chris would rather be in the kids band because Chris, we were in a ska band together. We practically played. Our ska is either for old people who came from Jamaica, or it's for kids. That's basically it. And plus, I'm sorry, I'm gonna just say it. Kids music rocks. Now I'm not necessarily talking about like the kids, the kid bop albums, but there's a lot of like cartoon or music geared toward kids and children that are amazing. In fact, the recording studio I worked at in Ohio, his highest sale on albums that he went like triple platinum on or whatever were children's albums. So anyways, I am obviously biased. I think Chris would also pick a children album. I also think the general population values fame more than what they're actually doing. So I'm going to go being popular for both. I think that's my final answer.
Well, you got it half right again. Yes, I would absolutely love to be in a wildly popular kids band or even an unpopular kids band. If I could just find some other people who want to play some cool kids music.
Or just kids pirate music, for example. That'd be so fun.
Captain Bog and Salty, man.
Oh, the greatest.
But apparently people in general are just a little grungier and they would rather be in a no-name rock band. 55%.
That just seems unreal. I mean, I'm if it's not already clear to our listeners, I'm obviously not normal, so I shouldn't be surprised.
I think just using the Wiggles as an example, a lot of people just for some reason hear the Wiggles and go
get offended. Yeah. Whereas like I'm thinking of like Yo Gabba Gabba and like cool stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Some of these questions, I tell you what, I'm getting a lot of stinkers here. Okay. Would Chris rather have to sneeze every 3 minutes or always have the sensation of needing to sneeze, but never actually do?
Oh, gosh. That's like torture on all fronts. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Okay. I'm trying to think logically through this because you're a logical man. Sneezing every 3 minutes, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
You literally couldn't function. And there's a couple reasons you couldn't function. Sneezing is pretty aggressive, what happens to your body. Stuff comes out. You wouldn't be able to eat. You would shove food and then sneeze. Your whole life would be torture. Not to mention, sneezing can make your nose raw. It's hard on your lungs. Eventually, I'm sure you would die of that. Just the pure jarring nature, death by sneezing. So now for the sensation, what's not clear to me is the sensation, is that like when you start to go, like you're reacting to it, or is it more just the feeling like...
The way I'm interpreting it is if you've ever felt like you need to sneeze and then you don't. Just that like, and then it like doesn't come.
Got you. I still, as horrible and torturous as that would be, I feel like that wouldn't kill you, and it would be annoying as deuce, but you would get used to it. So I feel like Chris would choose that over actual sneezing. And if I get this wrong, I lose the round. I think the general population would as well. Oh, maybe not. You know what? No. I'm going to switch it just because I feel like I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to say the general population would rather sneeze. Chris would rather not sneeze. That's my final answer.
It was a wise decision. Right on both counts.
All right. I started thinking younger people on the internet, they're not thinking through it. They're probably just thinking, oh, think about how relieving it would be to actually sneeze. Right. Not after 500 sneezes.
And honestly, that was my first reaction too. I hate that feeling of not being able to sneeze, but I feel like that's something you could probably even become acclimated to eventually, versus an actual physical interruption every 3 minutes. There's no way used to it.
I would just ask a doctor to, I don't know,
numb your nose.
Yeah, literally.
Remove it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to ask this one because this is just dumb. But I'm going to say it. Would you rather be able to not feel pain or have brittle bones?
What? That's a silly question. Okay.
That's a silly question. Okay. Would Chris rather be a fairy who cannot fly or a 10-foot tall dwarf?
Would Chris rather be a fairy that can't fly, which is very small, or a 10-foot tall dwarf?
Either way, ostracized from your society.
I mean, at surface level, I think being a dwarf would be kind of cool. I don't know about a 10-foot dwarf. Or would Chris rather be a fairy that can't fly? God, that would be awful. So you're like 2 inches tall?
I mean, it depends on the universe you're living in, I guess. But yeah, generally pretty small.
Okay. So again, I'm going to try to logic my way through this. Mm-hmm. My initial reaction was Chris would rather be the dwarf, but I'm starting to question that. And here's why. Again, Chris, you're a super practical guy. As much as it would suck and you would get teased, you would try to live your life as normal as possible. And the reality of the situation is being 10 foot is so huge that you would have no sense of normalcy in life at all. And constructing all of the day-to-day needs in a way that would fit a 10-foot person is extremely difficult. You take people in the NBA, everything they have is custom. And the only reason they can do that is because they have the money to do it. So you would need a house with, 15-foot ceilings everywhere, 12-foot doors. Everything just gets excessive all the time, more so than normal. Whereas I'm thinking if you were small, it would be much easier to get smaller scale items like a household and things like that. It's just, it's less production, less cost. And frankly, either way, you're going to have to live out in the woods somewhere. Otherwise, someone's going to probably attack you. I just feel like, in general, especially because the people that love you and care about you would love you either way, but it would be a little bit lower profile. You seem to be a more lower profile kind of guy. So I guess for Chris, I'm going to say the fairy, just by logicking my way through it. I think the general population is going to pick the dwarf because dwarfs are considered cool. Final answer.
Okay. I'm trying to decide whether to you know what? I'm going to be nice just to make it absolutely clear. At least the way that I'm interpreting this is not me being a dwarf or fairy living my current life, but being a dwarf or fairy living in a dwarf or fairy society.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I was thinking current existence. But that's okay. That was my interpretation.
Okay. Well, wrong on both counts, I guess.
Got it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, if it would have been in a dwarven society, I think I would have picked that too.
Yeah.
But
yep, 54% of people would rather be a fairy who cannot fly. The way I see it, a 10-foot tall dwarf would probably be glorified as a dwarven titan and and given riches and lead people into battle, and people would tell tales of his glorious tallness.
Got it. Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Well, you get one more question anyways. Okay. This one sounds interesting. Would Chris rather save the Library of Alexandria from burning or know what happened to Atlantis?
The Library of Alexandria?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that is tough. Just because I'm not super familiar with the Library of Alexandria. It's a real library that burned, I'm guessing?
Yes, it was in Egypt. Big old ancient library that
Got it.
burned to the ground, everything in it gone.
Are we assuming that Atlantis is actually real?
I guess, for the purposes of this question.
Or would the answer... Okay, so with that, I think, assuming that they're both real, I think it's Atlantis across the board. Final answer. Just because of the mystery involved.
Well, the general population agrees with you. 66%, 760,000 people would like to know what happened to Atlantis. Personally, I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, that would be fantastic and mysterious, but the fact is it's gone, and knowing whether it was blown up or sunk or vaporized or whatever doesn't seem as helpful as having all that ancient knowledge that disappeared. So personally, I choose the library.
All right, fair enough.
But hey,
all right. Well, I ended up with 5 of 10. Chris, you ended up with 8 of 10. You took the segment number 2. You are now up 2-0.
Ooh, pressure's on.
Sweet.
Ooh. All right. Well, that wraps up segment 2. So on to segment 3, an old favorite. It is Spot the Fake Quotes. We've each chosen a set of 3 quotes from a particular person or property and come up with fake versions to try to trip the other person up. We're going to read them off and try to guess what the real quote is.
Cool. And what is the theme? Oh, are we back to...
Our theme for this one, it's more general. It's action movies, military leader quotes, general.
Got it. So still badassery. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I went with action movies, specifically an action movie star, Mr. Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, not all action. He's been in some action movies. He's not exclusively, but he's got such badass quotes, you know. So for your first quote, this one is from classic blaxploitation film Shaft, where Mr. Jackson plays a smooth-talking, suave detective, Shaft. And I'm not going to give context. They're from 3 different movies. I'm not going to give a ton of context for any of these.
No need at all.
It's Shaft. Okay, so what does Shaft say? Does he say, "You know me, I'll take a joyride with that backside"? Or does he say, "You know me, it's my duty to please that booty"? Or does he say, "You know me, I'm blind drunk on what's in that trunk"?
Short and sweet. It is Samuel L. Jackson, so it could literally be any of those. Can you read them one more time?
Absolutely. Does he say, "I'll take a joyride with that backside"? "It's my duty to please that booty"? Or "I'm blind drunk on what's in the trunk"?
I like all of them, but I like the first one. Joyride with that backside. That just sounds like something he'd say. So that's my guess.
It is my duty to please that booty.
Fair enough. All right. 0 for 1. I'll take it. Let's see.
Well,
we good to move on?
Yep.
All right. So for you, Sir Chris, I chose quotes specifically from Agent Smith from the Matrix series. I apologize. Some of these are a little bit longer quotes, so I'm going to read them quickly. Not going to give you any context. If those of you who are unfamiliar with the Matrix movies, you should go watch them. Agent Smith is a bad guy robot, basically, kind of like a robot computer program. Okay.
Yeah.
So here is the first quote. "As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson. It seems that you've been living 2 lives. In one life, you're Thomas A. Anderson, software engineer for a respectable tech company. You have a social security number, you brush your teeth, and you help your neighbor mow their lawn. The other life is lived in computers, where you go by the criminal alias Neo, and you're guilty of virtually every computer crime in existence. One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not. As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson. It seems that you've been living 2 lives. In one life, you're Thomas A. Anderson, program developer for a respectable coding company. You have a social security number, you watch TV on Friday nights, and you help your landlord make upgrades to their property. The other life is lived in computers, where you go by the computerpreneur name Neo, and you are guilty of virtually every computer crime written into law. One of these lives has a future, and the other does not. And finally, as you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson. It seems that you've been living 2 lives. In one life, you're Thomas A. Anderson, program writer for a respectable software company. You have a social security number, you pay your taxes, and you help your landlady carry out the garbage. The other life is lived in computers, where you go by the hacker alias Neo, and you are guilty of virtually every computer crime we have a law for. One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not. Whew. Sorry, long-winded.
But good. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
I feel like I want to rule out B, but I'm kind of...
What gave it away?
Toss-up between the other 2.
Computerpreneur?
I mean that, yeah, but honestly, it was the program writer.
Program developer.
Program developer. Felt a little clunky. I don't know.
Okay.
But the other 2, honestly, I'm just total toss up. But I like landlady taking out the trash. You help your landlady taking out the trash. That's what's driving me towards C, so I'm going to go with C. Final answer.
That is correct. Very good. Well done, sir.
All right. Well, your second choice here. This is Samuel L. Jackson as Captain Nick Fury in The Avengers. Upon being told, this close to the end of the movie, that the Worldwide Security Council has decided, or has made a decision, to bomb Manhattan. And he says to the man telling him, "Given that you sound like an idiot, I've chosen to ignore you." Or B, "Given that a drooling ape would make better choices, I've decided to ignore your ass." Or C, given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
Oh man. C jumped out to me right away. The phrase "stupid ass" sounds very Nick Fury-esque. I've got to go with C. I'm just gonna go with it. Roll with the punches. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Well, you're not wrong. You're right.
Yes.
Absolutely. C is correct. Good job.
Okay. Man, we're balancing each other out because I have another long one. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I mean, I went with Samuel. I could have gone with his Pulp Fiction quote.
Oh,
that
boy.
one's too long, so
Yeah.
they're all pretty short.
Okay. Here's another long one. Agent Smith from the Matrix series. I'd like to share a revelation I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species. I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with their surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to another area and you multiply until every natural resource is consumed. The only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus. Or, I'd like to share an epiphany I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species. I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively finds balance over time with the surrounding environment. But you humans do not. You move to another area and you consume until every natural resource is depleted. The only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another entity on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus. Or finally, I'd like to share a discovery I had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species. I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively creates a respectable relationship with their surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to another area and you expand until every natural resource is consumed. The only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another living creature on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus.
All right. I remember this. I hate to ask you to do it, but can you read that first one more time for me?
I would like to share a revelation I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species. I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with their surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to another area and you multiply until every natural resource is consumed. The only way you can survive is to spread it to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus.
Okay. Well.
I promise my third quote is a lot shorter.
Oh, you're good, you're good. I don't think mammals have much respect for anything because they're still animals, so I don't think it's C.
Okay.
I had an epiphany. You consume and consume.
Okay.
That I'm feeling B.
Final answer?
Yes.
That is incorrect. It was A. Revelation, natural equilibrium, multiply.
Well, that's the way it goes.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Mm.
Okay.
That's the way I like it.
Yes.
You want to just do
Bruce Almighty?
Bruce Almighty impressions for the rest of the night? Yeah. Okay, well, your final Samuel L. Jackson quote. This one's not from a movie. This is just good old Sammy himself. It's a bit of advice from the legend, who is, at least as of 2010, I believe, the highest grossing actor of all time.
It's those Capital One commercials.
Yeah. Well, highest grossing is in the movies that he's been in have made the most money.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
So, does he say, if you do not have courage, you may not have the opportunity to use any of your other virtues? Or B, if you don't have bravery, you may not get the chance to use any of your other fine qualities. Or C, if you have no honor, you will certainly fall before you use any of your other skills.
Courage, bravery, and honor. I don't know Samuel L. Jackson very well, but
I know him personally.
of course
We're
do.
good friends.
Remember how you were saying how he makes the most money? I'm sure you get rewarded for that, being such a good friend. I like the courage one. I wasn't feeling the last one. I'm kind of spitballing. I don't really have any clear rationalization, but I liked how the courage one sounded. So either you're very good at writing inspirational quotes or he said it. So A.
I wish I was good at writing quotes. Maybe one day I will be, but it is A. You're right.
All right. I got two of them. It's a Thanksgiving miracle.
Yeah, which means I need to get this one to tie.
Yes, you do. All right, your final Agent Smith from the Matrix series quote that is significantly shorter. All right. Temporary ideas of an inferior human intellect trying desperately to justify a worthless life without any validation of existence. Only a human mind could invent something as bland as love. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why do you refute? Okay. Option 2. Temporary constructs of a feeble human intellect trying desperately to justify an existence that is without meaning or purpose. Only a human mind could invent something as insipid as love. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why do you persist? Or 3. Temporary thoughts of a weak human intellect trying desperately to justify the human suck of natural resources and natural tendencies of destruction. Only a human mind could invent something as boring as love. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why do you resist? Very Agent Smith sounding.
Very Agent Smith. Very just, ruthless. He really doesn't view humans very highly.
No, he does not.
Oh. Man. See, there's like some keyword. There's little bits in all of them that I like, and there's little bits in all of them that make me think maybe not. So
I'm doing my job right.
I don't know. I like why do you resist? I also kind of like why do you. I also kind of like why do you refute?
Okay, and that was A.
It feels a little awkward, but it also feels a little
right. And then B was why do you persist?
Why do you persist? They all sound okay. Something as bland as love.
So A was bland,
Something as boring.
B was insipid as love, and C was boring.
Oh man. I'm struggling. I don't want to just sit here and screw around for too long. Like I said, there's bits that I don't like about all three of them, but I think my gut is leaning just like 10% towards C. I like why do you resist? C.
Got
final answer.
Good guess. That is incorrect. It was actually B. Why do you persist?
Man. Okay. Well.
All right.
Okay.
So that means I took a segment finally.
Uh-huh.
So it is now 2-1, my friend. With that, are you okay to move on, Chris? Any other comments on Spot the Fake Quote?
That's all we got, I guess.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was great. So we're going to move on to the universally accepted greatest segment of all time, our break. Please stick around. We'll we are going to do the classic audio reversal. Definitely a favorite segment of mine. Right after the break.
Also blessed. You guys will love it.
Yes. Oh yeah, and just a little foreshadowing. The audio reversal segment, sticking with the badassery theme, is epic one-liners.
So if you're into that cheesy dialogue,
yes. We'll be right back. Please go use the restroom. Please hang on with us. We'll see you in just a few moments. Thank you. Alrighty, folks. We are back. I know I'm a new man, a brand new man after using the restroom. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Chris for our next segment.
I'll take that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
As we mentioned before our short break there, this segment is audio reversal, a relatively new but quickly becoming a favorite segment. This is our, third, fourth time doing it?
Something like remember. That.
Yeah. It's a fun game. Our theme this week is epic one-liners, and what we do is we take voice clips, sound effects, bits of music, whatever the theme is, take clips of audio, reverse them, and then try to guess what the original content is based on the reverse content. It's fun. It's goofy. I think y'all will like it.
Yes, sir. I'm going to pause the music here, and then we can jump in.
Let's do it. Just tell me when you're ready.
I am ready, sir.
Okay. So, your first clue here. Sorry. I chose all of mine are generally campy action movie stars. First one is possibly the most famous of the famous three, Arnold Schwarzenegger, in his role as John Matrix in the movie Commando.
All right, let's hear it reversed.
Reverse clip, yeah.
I'm guessing there was a scream in there. I'm turning it up just a little bit. I'm going to play it again. Wow. All right, I need to hear it again. Let me think. Let me get my brain tuned for reverse. Okay, what are my options, sir?
Your options.
J times 2 says, "Oh, I know this one." Well, you're doing better than me because I don't know yet.
I'm gonna do my Arnold because everyone's got an Arnold, right?
Sure.
Does he say A? Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired. Or B? I eat green berets for breakfast, and right now I'm very hungry. Or C? Remember, Sully, when I promised to kill you last? I lied. Or D? I have to remind you, Sully. This is my weak arm.
Oh, boy. So, let's see. It started with a yell of some kind, which implies that the yell is actually at the beginning, right?
I think you got that flipped.
I got that flipped. It was at the beginning, so it's actually at the end. So, let's see. JJ says, one of my favorite Arnold quotes. At least 3 of the 4 are actual Arnold quotes. Good to know.
Oh, they all are.
They're all these actual are real Arnold quotes. Okay. Man, remember, Sully, when I promised to kill you last? I lied. I have to remind you, Sully, this is my weak arm. I eat green berets for breakfast, and right now I'm very hungry. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired. Man, I'm really not sure. Is it okay if I'm gonna hear it one more time in reverse?
Absolutely.
So I'm going based on speech rhythms here, okay? It sounds like there's a slight break in there to my ear, which is leaning me towards B, I eat green berets for breakfast, and right now I'm very hungry. Also, that's just a ridiculously epic quote. Plus hungry, I could picture him screaming hungry at the end. Then again, I could totally picture him screaming any of these other ones. Arm, lied, or tired. But in the spirit of just keeping things move forward, I'm going to go ahead and go with B. I eat green berets for breakfast, and right now I'm very hungry.
All right, let's hear it.
Here is what it is correct.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied.
Okay. Okay, so it's like when he's killing him. Okay. I'll take it.
I lied.
I lied. Yeah. All right, Chris. So for your audio reversal, what I chose, sticking with epic one-liners, since we're on Twitch, I thought I would do video games. But more specifically, these are epic one-liners that tend to be words of wisdom from gaming characters. To be clear, I do not support any of these words of wisdom for the most part because they can be from very evil people. But generically speaking, words of wisdom. I also am not giving you any hints. I'm a little bit less nice, but perhaps I should. So here is your first audio reversal. Forgive me if sound needs to be adjusted. Here we go.
Now those news fan, the never know must slow well my guess drill an sword black must drill Cheryl fierce must how
A bit longer than 5 seconds.
All right. Let's hear it one more time.
Now those news fan, the never know must slow well my guess drill an sword black must drill Cheryl fierce must how.
You know what? We ran into this last week. I'm starting to think the brain of Pinky and the Brain just sounds a little bit like a backwards guy because I'm getting brain vibes just slightly again.
Definitely. Third
right,
time, or do you want to hear your options?
Let's hear options. That's long enough. I think I need to hear.
Okay.
First.
So it's obviously a pretty long quote. Was it Snake from Metal Gear Solid saying, "We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing I was good at, but at least I always fought for what I believed in"? Was it John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, the original, saying, some trees flourish, others die, some cattle grow strong, others are taken by wolves, some men are born rich enough and dumb enough to enjoy their lives? Was it Max Payne saying they were all dead? The final gunshot was an exclamation mark to everything that had led to this point. I released my finger from the trigger and then it was over? Or was it Shepard from Mass Effect 2 saying, "I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel"?
Well, people out there may not believe this, and maybe I don't deserve to call myself a gamer, but I have not played any of these 4 epic, very famous, popular games.
Oh, man.
I've never played a Metal Gear. I've never played Red Dead. Still haven't gotten to a Max Payne, and I mean, I own literally all of these.
You've got to play Red Dead, and you've got to play Max Payne. Those two in particular, in my opinion. But Mass Effect is also really... Mass Effect 2 in specifically was just so good. Would you like to hear it again?
Yes, please.
Okay, here you go, sir.
Now those news fan, the never know must slow well my guess drill an sword black must drill Cheryl fierce must how.
It's a tough one, right?
That's a tough one.
I think if you had played the games, it'd make it a little easier because you might recognize the voice.
Right, but I really don't. Well, okay, I guess I kind of know what Snake sounds like. Solid Snake. He's got kind of a... He just kind of sounds like this.
He sounds like Batman.
A little bit. Batman and Clint Eastwood had a baby, and it's Solid Snake.
I like that.
I don't know.
So John Marston.
I don't think it's D. D's too short. I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel. I don't know if that's even something Shepard says.
These are all real quotes.
Okay. That feels too short. And honestly, C feels a little short, too. Maybe not.
I feel like I'm helping you out here. Max Payne has like the most iconic voice ever.
I have to think back to the streams that I've seen you do. See if I can remember. Don't know John Marston at all. But it does start with kind of a sound.
Okay.
Which sounds like a backwards S to me, and that quote ends in lives, and it's the only of the 4 quotes that ends in an S.
Okay.
So I'm leaning towards B, the John Marston quote from Red Dead Redemption.
Let's find out. Here it is.
Well, some trees flourish, others die. Some cattle grow strong, others are taken by wolves. Some men are born rich enough and dumb enough to enjoy their life.
Very good, sir. Very well done. Excellent. Taking the lead in audio reversal. All right, hit me with your second one.
Okay, your second quote here. This is Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken, or Plissken. Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. So if you want to play. And just to be clear, because it wouldn't be fair to mislead you, this is a conversation between him and another character from the movie.
Okay.
So the voice sounds like it changes. That's because it's a second person.
It literally does. Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
Here we go again. Man, okay, I got to hear it a third time. Man, okay, what are my options, sir?
Okay. So specifically what Snake says. Does he say, I'm too tired, maybe later? Or, when I get back, I'm going to kill you. Or, yeah, you and everybody else. Or, I guess I go in one way or the other.
Let me hear it again. I'm not familiar with this character or this movie, so I'm kind of guessing. Okay, again, just going from a rhythmic standpoint, it sounds like I'm too tired, maybe later, and then second person talks. Like it fits almost perfect. When I get back, I'm going to kill you also kind of fits because there's that comma with a pause. Yeah, you and everyone else. I guess they could have enunciated it differently. I guess I go in one way or the other. I don't think it's that one. So I guess I'm leaning either B or A. When I get back, I'm going to kill you, or I'm too tired, maybe later. I'm going to go with my gut, which was the first one, which is A. I'm too tired, maybe later.
All right, let's hear it.
You gonna kill me now, Snake?
I'm too tired. Maybe later.
Yeah.
Got it.
Speech rhythms. I understand it.
That's the name of the game, man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Chris, let's move on to your second audio reversal.
Hit me up.
Again, words of wisdom from video game characters. Here we go. Let me adjust the volume.
It sounds like some Skyrim evil spell stuff. Let's hear it.
It does. Pretty creepy sounding. Third time?
It is, yeah. One more, yeah.
Okay. So your options are, was this Andrew Ryan from the BioShock series saying, we all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us? Was it Duke Nukem saying, it's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum? Was it Manuel Calavera from the Grim Fandango series saying, "You can't hide from the Grim Reaper, especially when he's got a gun"? Man, that's an amazing quote. Or was it Batman from Arkham City saying, "You want to know something funny? Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you"?
All right. It's funny how many of these I considered for quotes of my own.
Great minds, man.
I don't think it's Manuel Calvera.
Do you want to hear it again?
I would love to hear it again.
One more time. Nam.
You know, based solely on voice quality. See, now we're more into slightly more familiar territory with voices.
Yep.
It doesn't sound like Duke Nukem.
Okay.
Which is sad. Everyone should sound like Duke Nukem.
Agreed.
Everyone should sound like a lot of these people. Manuel Calavera.
Except for Batman. I wouldn't like it if everyone sounded like Batman.
Do you want paper or plastic?
I'll have some fish and chips today.
I'm
Merry
calling to see
Christmas.
if you're satisfied with your cable provider.
Exactly.
So it doesn't sound like gruff Duke Nukem or gruff Batman, and I don't think it's a suave Manuel, so I think it's Andrew Ryan, and those ambient sort of creepy noises feel very Bioshocky as well. I think it's A. We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
Let's find out.
A man chooses. A slave obeys.
Apparently, I pasted the wrong thing, but that's correct.
All right, well, it was Andrew Ryan.
Yes, it was. I wonder where I got mixed up there. I must have pasted the wrong quote. You know what I think happened, Chris? Is I originally had this quote, but I couldn't find the recording, and I switched it, but I forgot to update it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened.
Sometimes it's hard to find those audio clips.
You still got it. My B. My B. You're just too good.
Oh. All right. Well.
Very
cool.
good.
Cool. Are you ready for your third here?
I am. Man, where's the QA when you need it? My gosh.
All right. This third one is Bruce Willis as Corbin Dallas in one of my guilty favorites, The Fifth Element.
Okay.
So if you want to play his little quote here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sure, get it upside of it.
Wow, that was short. Okay.
Yeah, sure, get it upside of it.
I like the sound.
Yeah, sure, get it upside of it.
Okay, what are my options, sir?
All right. Is he saying A, anybody else want to negotiate? B, whoa, lady, I only speak 2 languages, English and bad English. C, negative, I am a meat popsicle. Or D, 7 on the left, 5 on the right. Fire 6 shots. 4 on the right, 2 on the left.
All right, I'm going to play it one more time. I think I actually know this one.
Yeah, sure, get it upside of it.
I feel like I can actually hear the word negotiate. It sounds like negotiate. Just straight up. I guess that's just one of those words that comes across in reverse. So that's going to be my final answer.
All right. Hey, well, let's hear it.
Anybody else want to negotiate?
All right.
There you go. Right on.
All right, Chris, I'm not going to screw up your third one. Everyone knows I'm already the screw up, but I need to make it less of a screw up. So here's your third video game quote in reverse. Here we go again.
Whew. It's like ASMRing me. That's a voice.
Yes, it is.
All right. What
Would
are
you
my
like a
options
third?
here?
Okay, here are your
Yeah.
options. It's Alan from Alan Wake saying, if our lives are already written, it would take courage. It would take a courageous man to change the script. Is it Max Payne saying dreams have a nasty habit of going bad when you're not looking? Is it Pac-Man saying waka waka waka? Or is it Sora from Kingdom Hearts saying, I don't need a weapon, my friends are my power?
Why does that one feel more ridiculous than Pac-Man? I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power. Okay. Well.
Would you like to hear it again?
Yeah, let's hear it again.
Ik had langer hebben ook weer bij zijn de best meer.
I'm glad you get my humor, Chris.
Okay. Well. This could be Max Payne. Dreams have a nasty habit of going bad when you're not looking. Feels like about the right length, and he's got that deep noir detective voice, right?
Right.
Alan Wake is another one of those games that I own, but I haven't gotten around
Very
to
good
playing.
game.
I really don't know what Alan Wake sounds like. As the lead of the game, he could have a rich, commanding voice like this. But that quote, if our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script, that feels a little bit too long to me.
Okay.
I think it's probably B. It's Mr. Max Payne.
Let's find out. Hopefully I have the right recording this time.
But dreams have a nasty habit of going bad when you're not looking.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
For those of you that have listened, I'm a huge fanboy of Max Payne in general, which is basically Chris. So
basically, yeah. Can't you tell?
Very good, sir. You are 3 of 3.
All right. Well, there's still 2 questions to go for each of us. This could go either way. So, your 4th question. This is Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley in the movie Alien. Another epic badass.
All right, here we go. That's not the right one. Okay, sorry. Here we go.
Yeah, was a well with brush power. Such a yard. Yeah, was a well with brush power. Such a yard. Yeah, was a well with brush power. Such a yard.
Okay, what are my options?
Is she saying, I'm happy to disappoint you? Or B, did IQs just drop sharply while I was away? Or C, get away from her, you bitch? Or D, Hudson, this little girl survived longer than that with no weapons and no training.
Okay. Do you care if I play it one more time?
Please do.
Yeah, was a well with brush power. Such a yard.
Man, my brain is having a really hard time adjusting to this one.
As I'm listening to it backwards, it doesn't seem as traceable as some of the other quotes do.
Can I get it one more time, Chris? I feel like I'm
Please.
cheating, getting more than 4. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, was a well with brush power. Such a yard.
Okay, so I think, again, not based on any real logic, but I feel like the Hudson, the little girl, survived longer than that with no weapons and no training is a little long. I'm happy to disappoint you is too short. Get away from her, you bitch, is potentially it. Or did IQs just drop sharply while I was away? I feel like I'm hearing the word did, because DID is DID, no matter how it is,
Right.
in reverse or normal. So just based on that, I'm going to go with did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
All right, let's hear it.
Did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
Yes. Yes, great line. Great line.
Got it.
Unfortunately, That happens to me no matter what.
Just constant IQ dropping.
Just nonstop, as everyone has learned from this episode so far. Okay, your fourth audio reversal from video game characters' words of wisdom. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right, let me turn it down. Here we go.
Nou mas, nou en ik zie nou mas. Den echt van oort verder bij gewicht 6 en on. Wie uit de neet is er.
Okay, here we go again.
Once more.
Nou mas, nou en ik zie nou mas. Den echt van oort verder bij gewicht 6 en on. Wie uit de neet is er.
Some pretty iconic sounds in that that give it away. Would you like it again?
Yes.
Or just okay.
Yeah, one more.
Nou mas, nou en ik zie nou mas. Den echt van oort verder bij gewicht 6 en on. Wie uit de neet is er.
Okay, so here are your options. Is it Zelda from Twilight Princess saying, "Shadow and light are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other"? Is it Khan from Metro 2033 saying, "Force answers force. War breeds war, and death only brings death. To break this vicious circle, one must do more than just act without any thought or doubt"? Is it Voss from Far Cry 3 saying, "Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity"? Or is it the sniper from Team Fortress 2 saying, "At the end of the day, as long as there are two people left on the planet, someone is going to want someone dead"?
Oh, good quote too. Well, I feel like you're maybe going a little easy on me on this one. Those chords, even if I didn't recognize the quote or rationalize the length, even backwards, that brassy instrumentation and that chord progression, that is Team Fortress 2, if anything was ever Team Fortress 2.
Isn't that the truth?
That is D, the sniper.
And sure. Also the ever so slight heavy weapons guy minigun at the very end. So here you go.
Because at the end of the day, long as there's two people left on the planet, someone is going to want someone dead.
Absolutely legendary. Very good, sir. You are correct again.
Right on.
4 for 4.
All right. Are you ready for your last audio reversal clue?
I am ready.
Okay. This is Vin Diesel
Ooh.
as Richard B. Riddick from Pitch Black.
Excellent movie, by the way. The whole Riddick series is so underrated and arguably, honestly, my favorite Vin Diesel movies by far.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big fan. So let's hear it.
Okay. Here we go.
Jag vill smoke the thing. Som man heter bara. You'll swear the night session near me to miss you.
Very Vin Diesel voice. I'm going to play it again if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Jag vill smoke the thing. Som man heter bara. You'll swear the night session near me to miss you.
He has such a way of speaking, at least in this quote, that like you can literally tell. I have no idea what he's saying, but I can tell where the sentence structure is happening. You know what I mean? It's very like intense. Yeah. Okay, so what are my options?
Okay. Is he saying, they say most of your brain shuts down in cryo sleep, all but the animal side. Guess that's why I'm still awake.
Legend.
Or B, all you people are so scared of me. Most days I take that as a compliment.
Fair enough.
Or C, you know who I am? You don't know anything about me. I will leave you here. Or D, Richard B. Riddick, escaped convict, murderer.
Okay, so I think this one's a little easy for me just because of the sentence structure and the length. I'm pretty sure it's A. They say most of your brain shut down in cryo sleep, all but the animal side. Guess that's why I'm still awake. That's what I was hearing. So I think that's going to be my final answer. I'm just going to go for it.
Please do.
They say most of your brain shuts down in cryo sleep, all but the animal side. Guess that's why I'm still awake.
Dude, the like cave reverb, it's just awesome. Awesome. All right, Chris. We are tied 4-4. The difference is you still have another question.
This is the difference. It's mine to lose here.
Yes. Back to video games, away from movies. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Sorry, that was a little loud. I turned it down. Here we go again. Third time?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so your options are, is this Adam Jensen from Deus Ex saying, I never asked for this? Is it from Thief 2, reliance upon others is a weakness for the strong, but strength for the weak? Wisdom and balance lie in knowing your nature over time. Is it an NPC from Morrowind? Why walk when you can ride? Or is it Dr. Wallace Breen from Half-Life 2 saying, be wise, be safe, be aware?
You know, I can't put my finger on it.
Yes, you can.
But something about B, I just don't think. I don't think it's reliance upon others is a weakness for the strong, but strength for the weak. Wisdom and balance in lie in knowing your nature over time. But I don't know. Play it one more time. Let me make sure.
Okay, we'll double check.
Yeah, that 3-part cadence, and each one ends in like an yip, which backwards would be B. So I think it is Mr. Dr. PhD Wallace Breen from Half-Life 2. Be wise, be safe, be aware. D.
Let's find out.
Be wise, be safe, be aware.
Very good, sir. You took the segment 5-4. Nice job, my friend.
So many rich, deep, manly voices in that segment.
Isn't that the truth?
My life feels like peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm doomed on that whole voice thing. I've got such a high, annoying voice. I'd be better as a SpongeBob character. Okay, so I know we've gone long. Thank you for hanging in there with us, audience. We only have one segment left. For what it's worth, Chris, you've already won today. There's no way I can win. You're up 3-1, but we'll still finish it out. For this segment, sticking with the badasses, we are going to do Lost in Translations, but we decided to choose famous last words, which may or may not be badass. They could be the opposite of that, or humorous, or whatever. So with that, I think we're ready to jump in. I'm going to kick up the background music.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, your first option for Lost in Translations. Just going to mention real quick, the languages that I went through was Finnish, Greek, Hebrew, Vietnamese, Thai, Polish, Norwegian, Welsh, Russian, and Chinese. And also, just for those of you that are listening, I should have explained this already. What we do is we take a phrase, we put it through all the translations, see what it comes out as, and the other person has to try to guess what the original quote was. Okay.
All right.
So yours, after going through 10 translations, Chris, came out as never country singing. Was the original quote country music? Nope. Was it yeah, country music? Was it country music is for chumps? Or give me the country music? And I can give you a little bit of background on this if you would like.
You know what? I was going to ask about it, but let's, for the sake of the game, let's save the background for
after,
like the reveal after. I think that would be good.
So never country singing.
Just because some of these might give it away too much, I think.
For sure.
I'm definitely not familiar with this one. So famous last words, country music, nope.
And they, to clarify, these are real things said.
So are, mine are fictional but real. I didn't make mine up either.
Yeah, this is a absolutely real last words of someone who was alive.
Okay. Country music, nope. Yeah, country music. Country music is for chumps. Give me the country music.
Yes.
And it came out as never country singing. Well, B has that pause, that comma. Yeah, comma, country music. So it maintains the structure, and sometimes punctuation sort of follows through these translations better than the words actually do. But not always. Okay. But sometimes. But that's what I'm feeling. It's 3 words. It's word, comma, word, word. B, yeah, country music. Final answer.
That is correct. Very good, sir. So the background, this is a Buddy Rich's, the famous drummer. His last words, his famous last words, he was getting prepared for a surgery. He died in surgery. A nurse asked him, "Is there anything you can't take?" And he said, "Yeah, country music."
Oh, so it wasn't a request. It was...
Yes,
I mean, it was, but...
not a fan of country music at all.
Oof.
Yeah.
With my dying breath, sir. I condemn a musical genre.
That's Buddy Rich in a nutshell, my friend.
All right.
Nice job. Nice job.
Okay. Well.
Hit me.
For your first question, and for those interested, the 10 languages that I used were Czech, Hebrew, Romanian, Igbo, Swahili, Japanese, Armenian, Catalan, Odia, and Bengali.
All right.
And your phrase came out as, that is, I can take you here directly.
Okay, what are my options?
Was it A, this is it, this is where it all ends? Or B, that's it, I can save you all. C, I see, I can entrust you with everything. Survive and... Or D, I meant to say that I'm dying.
Ooh, this is a tough one. So it came out as that is, I can take you here directly. Wow. None of these make any sense, Chris. This is it. This is where it all ends. That's it. I can save you all. I see. I can entrust you with everything. Survive and... Or I meant to say that I'm dying. Wow. Okay, so... Where is my gut going? There seems to be a lot of death and dying going on. So I'm assuming it's related to that because it's famous last words. I'm trying to think objectively, which one of these actually sound like last words? This is it. This is where it all ends. That sounds like it. I see. I can entrust you with everything. Survive and not so much. That's it. I can save you all. That would be really random. I meant to say that I'm dying. So I'm leaning towards A or D, and I think my heart's pushing me towards D. I meant to say that I'm dying because that just sounds like something that someone would say. Hey, when you're going through that deeply personal thing that all humans go through, who knows what you're going to say? So D, final answer.
Nope.
Nope.
Sorry.
Okay.
Nope. It is C. I see. I can entrust you with everything. Survive and...
Dun,
and then
dun.
death. Yeah, so you chose all real people. I chose all fictional people. Mine are a little more crafted. But yeah, this was J. Dragoon Levitz from the video game Legends of Dragoon for the PS1 as he dies in the second chapter of the game. It is so sad.
I believe it. Okay, Chris, your second Lost in Translations, famous last words, it came out as, how can I evaluate Chip? Your options are, explain more, feed me. Fish and chips, how many more times? Let me explain, there were chips and some vinegar. Or, how's this for your headline? French fries. And this is a real famous last words.
I actually, and I did not see this during research, I think I have heard this one before. It's resonating with me because who can make dad jokes on their deathbed? I believe this one is D. How's this for your headline? French fries.
That is correct. Very good. Just a little bit of background. James Donald French was about to be electrocuted, and there was a bunch of press there to watch, and that's what he said.
I don't remember what he did to get the death penalty, but way to go out. We should start prepping final words, just in case.
Yes, proactively.
All right. Well, your second phrase came out as, unfortunately, I didn't realize all this. I was glad. I'm sorry, let me start over. Unfortunately, I didn't realize all this. I was glad she was my friend.
Okay.
So what's your original phrase? It's sad that we couldn't be better friends. Or, I wish things had been different. You're my daughter. Or, I used to think we were enemies. Now I see that we're brothers. Or, I'm sorry I didn't get none of it right. I'm damn lucky you're my boy.
So we somehow went from male to female. Unfortunately, I didn't realize all this. I was glad she was my friend. Okay. So it's sad that we couldn't be better friends sticks out. I wish things could be different. You're my daughter. Maybe. That one, the sex stays the same. I used to think we were enemies. Now I see that we're brothers. That's kind of like saying the same thing. I didn't realize this, but now, you know what I mean? I'm sorry I didn't get none of it right. I'm damn lucky you're my boy. I'm just going to go for it, Chris. I'm going to say C. That one sounds like something that would come out through translations. That's my best guess, and I'm going to stick with it. Wrong?
You wrong?
Yes.
Oh.
These ones don't make any sense.
Man, maybe I put too much time into making up these fake answers. This was D. I'm sorry I didn't get none of it right. I'm damn lucky you're my boy. That is Yondu, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Your third audio reversal, sir, is consider death or hear about a card like your ID card.
Okay.
Is the original quote, given the chance of dying, and actually, let me see. This is a anonymous one, so we don't know who said it. Just give you a little bit of background. Given the choice of dying or listening to you one more time, I'd rather... Was it waiting in line for an ID is worse than death? Is it death spare me, I just want my ID back, man? Or I'd rather jump off a bridge than talk to you more?
Okay. Consider death or hear about a card like your ID card. Consider death sounds a bit like given the choice of dying, like, or listening to you. Does sound kind of sassy. ID card. Not sure where that comes into play. Waiting in line for an ID is worse than death. I could maybe see that coming from an anonymous person. Maybe death spare me, I just want my ID back, man. Maybe not that one. I'd rather jump off a bridge than talk to you more. I don't know if I'm feeling that one either. That's sort of similar to the first one, which maybe lends a little bit of credence to the first one as being correct. Given the choice of dying or listening to you one more minute, I'd rather... I like that it trails off. I had one that trailed off, and that was the right one. I like the trail off. A, given the choice of dying or listening to you one more minute, I'd rather.
That is correct. I don't know what happened in the translations, but somehow it added ID card. So that was the trick one. Very good.
Oh, look. Your third translation, after 10 translations, came out as, Listen, if one is chosen, the slave is chosen. So, was the original phrase. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it, if you're gonna go out big. I wish I'd stood up for myself more often. Good riddance, who needs a wimp like him? Or a man chooses, a slave obeys. Obey.
Okay, I feel like I'm cheating, but it's definitely D. A man chooses, a slave obeys from BioShock. Andrew Ryan, for sure. Foreshadowing in the previous segment.
Yep.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take
You
it
got
any way
it.
I can get one right.
You got it.
All right, sir. Your third audio reversal came out as, and let me double check myself here. This is a real famous last words. Came out as, wait, let me double check myself. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just didn't mark this right. So you're fourth, not third. That's what threw me off.
Okay.
You're fourth. I was like, what is, my brain is not computing. I know it's getting late. Okay. The applause was already funny. Was it originally, cheer for the end is fun? Was it humorous is the audience? Was it applaud, my friends, the comedy is finished? Or was it clap and cheer for the end is near?
Ooh. Okay, this one's actually... Ooh. This one's tough. The applause was already funny. Okay. So... A, C, and D all have something about cheering or applauding that could translate into applause. B, humorous is the audience does not. So I'm just going to cross that one out.
Next.
The applause was already funny. Cheer for the end is fun. Applaud, my friends, the comedy is finished. Clap and cheer for the end is near. Cheer for the end is fun. Oh... I feel like they're all equally valid, but I also feel like C and D both feel structured more like an epic quote.
And maybe they pre-planned their famous last words.
It could be. I think all the best famous last words are pre-planned.
Fair enough.
Applaud, my friends, the comedy is finished. Clap and cheer for the end is near. These are the two that I liked, because one sounds Shakespearean and the other has like a nice cadence and rhyme to it. And this is why I feel like we need to save context for the end, because I feel like if you told me like who this was, that would probably give it away.
For sure.
Applaud, my friends, the comedy is finished. Clap and cheer, for the end is near. Basically, I'm trying to decide if I think this is a person from antiquity or a person from the modern era, because one sounds much more classical and the other sounds like, I don't know, maybe Bozo the Clown on his deathbed said, clap and cheer for the end is near. I'm kind of feeling D. Clap and cheer for the end is near. Maybe.
What's your final answer, Chris? You gotta give it.
I don't have a coin. I need a coin. I already said it. Okay, D. Clap and cheer for the end is near. I'm just going to stick with it. Yes. Final answer.
Okay, good guess. That is incorrect. The correct answer is C. Applaud, my friends, the comedy is finished. And this is actually from Beethoven.
Oh, okay.
Which would have given it away immediately. So I'm glad we kind of...
That would have, absolutely.
Yeah, without it, it's difficult.
Well, all right. Okay, your fourth phrase here came out as, but it didn't make any sense to me. I left early, and ha ha ha, I'm looking for retirement. Just to be clear for the audience and for you, Jake, this quote has a sound effect at the end that is in asterisks, but I don't know how to do air asterisks, so I'm doing air quotes to signify sound effect. I got you. The sound effect translated to I'm looking for retirement. But it didn't make any sense to me. I left early and ha ha ha, I'm looking for retirement. So was the original quote, A, I don't understand. I thought we made it. Ow! Cough. B, But it doesn't matter to me. I'm fading fast. Arg! Gasp. C. How can that be? I got out of the way. Youch! Wheeze. Or D. I'm totally stumped. I wasn't even there. Jinkies. Hack.
Okay, so to be completely honest, none of these make any sense. But it didn't make any sense to me. I left early. I guess I left early could be associated with I'm fading fast. I don't understand. I thought we made it. How can that be? I got out of the way. The more I think about it, B is standing out. Just because of the way the sentence structuring is, and I left early to I'm fading fast. So I'm going to go with B. Final answer.
Success. Yes.
Excellent.
Well, it doesn't matter to me. I'm fading fast. Arg! Gasp. This is for those Earthbound fans out there. The final words of Buzz Buzz, the space warrior turned into a bee from the future.
Very nice.
A little
Very
obscure.
nice.
I'm doing some obscure ones, but that's okay because it's a translation game. So
Doesn't matter. Exactly.
matter.
Okay, Chris, your final Lost in Translation comes out as Lord, please remember me. Make me strong, revenge with eyes. See if you know your Bible knowledge well.
I mean,
here.
that sounds kind of like a Bible verse as is, honestly. Okay.
So, was the original quote, Holy Lord, through my eyes bring me strength and healing? Was it, Lord, avenge my time and give me strength, I seek your wisdom? Was it, Sovereign Lord, remember me, please God, strengthen me just once more, and let me with one blow get revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes? Or was it, O righteous God, do not forsake me, give me the power, and let me be all that my eyes see?
Okay. Well.
You might know this one.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I am not as my biblical knowledge tends to be more big picture and
Yeah.
less verses, and that's something I need to work on. But
And this is a famous last quote from the Bible.
definitely though the one that's standing out to me most as sounding very biblical is C. Sovereign Lord, remember me. Please God, strengthen me just one more, and let me, with one blow, get revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes. That sounds right to me. Absolutely. C. Final answer.
Okay, that is correct. That was the original quote from Samson in the NIV version of the Bible. I don't know if you know the story. The Philistines ripped out his eyes and chained him to pillars, and he prayed for strength one last time, and he crushed the pillars and collapsed the whole roof and killed all the Philistines. Super epic, badass last line.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna choose a badass from the Bible, it's Samson.
Hard to disagree with Samson, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, well, man, you end on Samson. I am not ending on such a strong note with my final quote. All right, well,
I'm ready.
After running through 10 translations, your final phrase is, beware of his amazing songs that hurt when you play. So what's the original phrase? A, look out for his beatdown jams. B, beware his song about big butts. He beats you up while he plays it. C, if he plays, my heart will go on. Watch your back. Or D, he kicked my ass while polka played in the background.
Okay, so this one, just from a phrasing perspective, B stands out immediately. Beware his song about big butts. He beats you up while he plays it. Came out as beware of his amazing songs that hurt when you play. It's gotta be B. Final answer.
You're absolutely correct. Yes, this is Master Tang from the
Very
movie
good.
Kung Pao as he dies. Yes. Okay.
Very good. All right, Chris.
There you go.
Well, you took audio reverse, or excuse me, Lost in Translations 4-3, which puts you at 4 out of 5 segments. Therefore, you are not the screw up. I am the screw up. Congratulations, my friend. You won episode 13. Yes. Well, everyone, the end of the show is fast approaching. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and congratulations once more time to Chris for winning this evening. Very well done, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was a blast. But hey, next episode is still anyone's game, and in fact, the segments are up in the air as well. This preseason is all about fine-tuning, so please swing by our feedback form to let us know what you like, what we could do better, and what you want to see in the future. We're putting the URL in the chat right now. Yeah. And you can also find a link on our About page.
Please check out that About page. That has all of the links to our social media. So please do that. Follow us on Twitter specifically to be notified when we're streaming. Typically, it's Tuesday nights from 8 Central to /9 Eastern till whenever. And you can also please specifically subscribe to our YouTube channel for episode archives and any other content that we're going to create. We don't have a whole lot on there yet, but once we're through season 0, we will start putting more on there. We upload the previous week's episode on Sundays. So when you subscribe to our YouTube, which is totally free, by the way, be sure to click the bell to be notified when something new pops up.
That sure helps us out. Well, it has been fun, everyone, but we need to go now. I'm going to go celebrate my victory by rolling around in a pile of fruit roll-ups.
Ooh, that's good. And I will spend the night comforting myself with warm towels that I put in the dryer because I'm so sad.
That'll do the trick. Hey, I hope to see you all next week. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.